But the people who own the movement of ODM, that's what Gachagua is saying. The people who own the ODM movement, the lawyers have Otire, Otire. Yeah. The people from Coast, Otire. Kisi, Otire. Ambas, Otire. Morima, Otire. Yeah. So if there's somebody who is in a corner, is none other than William Samoei Ruto. Somehow, some takeover was engineered. Even before his body arrived in Kenya. Even before the body arrived in Kenya, so that we can confirm that our party leader is indeed gone. We had not seen him. We had not seen him. Yeah. We needed to see him to believe some changes were effected. That PK is inside. Yeah. This one is going to crush you like a caterpillar. The hand behind this thing. You know the hand behind this thing.
Let me ask you then. Great to see you. Hello there and welcome to Philip Kisia Unscripted, a program that comes to you every single week on this platform, a conversation that we hope will help our political leaders in making better decisions, but more specifically help Kenyans. Kenyans need to change how they think about politics. This is an ideological-centered conversation. Our conversation today is which way Azimio, Philip Kisia, is now the executive director of Azimio la Umoja and Kenya coalition. Where are there hits towards him? Same conversation about he's in a hurry to take over the party together with Kalonzo, Musyoka and others. That is my conversation today with Philip Kisia. Great to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man.
Long time no see.
It has been a week.
You've been very busy.
It has been a week.
No, you've been busy.
Yeah, of course I am. Always busy. But I have time for you.
Thank you. I really do appreciate. Why are you in a hurry to take over Azimio, according to your friend, Prof. Manyora?
Well, I thought he's a friend, but after his tweet, I've started doubting whether he's really a friend, because I think his memory has failed him. Raphael Tuju resigned way back in 2024, and I was given that opportunity to take over from him. Even Prof congratulated me for that move at that time. But this time it was made formally through the NEC, which was chaired by His Excellency, the President, fourth President of the Republic of Kenya. And I was given that opportunity. I mean, there was a vacuum to be filled.
I've seen the
Is there anything wrong with Philip Kisia accepting a role of leadership?
I think I saw it saying Tamai. It's like, you guys, what is it?
I will not read too much in what Prof said, but his memory has failed him flatly. Maybe if you have a moment, please speak to him and find out what his actual problem is. I have no problem with him.
Have you seen that billboard, by the way, before we get into your reflections and highlights, showing that the president is on the screen right now? He has delivered for Kenyans. Have you seen it?
Well, you see, I've seen something.
Carrier.
I've seen something that reads the vision carrier.
So,
first of all, to be a vision carrier, you must have the vision, a shared vision, a vision for the Kenyan people. We have Vision 2030. He has actually put it in his back burner. He put Vision 2030 in his back burner. He came up with his own vision. So really, we don't share a vision with him. Kenya has Vision 2030. That is our reference point, Vision 2030. Anything else is your dream, your own dream. And we are not interested in people's dreams. We're interested in our shared dreams. I've seen messages saying that he's bold, he's brave, he's innovative and transformative. What has been transformative of His Excellency the President in the last 4 years, other than the education system collapsing, health has collapsed, our children at home, capitation has been reduced, our children are being shot in the legs through his order, and the old are suffering, people are in pain. So if that is what you call transformation, Jed, the only thing that I've seen being transformed is corruption. Corruption has, going to levels that you cannot imagine. So if you are calling that transformative leadership, then he's right. But otherwise, transformative leadership in the sense that I know, the Lee Kuan Yew style, nowhere near being transformative.
Eric Latif is asking who is behind this billboard, what's the message, whether it's real or not. But, well, you've talked about it. What have you been reflecting on since we talked last week? Now,
2 quick ones. In fact, I had the privilege of appearing on Citizen, I think it was last week, and I met some of my friends, Ekuru Aukot and Nelson Koech, Mheshimiwa. And I would like to play that quick video where he unconditionally apologized to the people of Kenya.
Remember correctly, you were quoted at some point asking the police to shoot and kill protesters.
Our children.
Why would you want police to kill?
Let me start, and it's good that you've mentioned that, Trevor. Let me start by saying I must confess that let me just speak.
Let him speak.
I must have been misquoted. Those who know my character and all these gentlemen know my character. I'm not that kind of a person. That statement, I unequivocally want to apologize. The sanctity of life is provided for and guaranteed by the Constitution and even the Bible, of which I believe in. So that statement that came out from me, I want to take this opportunity to unconditionally apologize. It is not my character, and I'm totally embarrassed by that statement. It came in the heat of the emotion of that moment, and I should have been more careful in how I made my statement.
Well, that is MP Nelson Koech said people need to be shot. Now he says he's ashamed of the words he used.
Well, he says he was misquoted, but then he follows it with another acceptable term, saying that he apologizes unconditionally. So at least he was a gentleman enough to realize that he made a mistake. He has apologized, and he says that what he uttered was in the heat of the moment. But you know, as a leader, you need to really weigh your words. I remember my late mother would tell me, this mouth can give you what to eat, it can also deny you. And therefore, you must be very careful on how you apply your mouth. So it's unfortunate that he made those remarks. But on the flip side, I think let us accept the fact that he has apologized. He has at least accepted the fact that life, scarcity of life is guaranteed in the Constitution. Yeah. He has also confirmed that he's a firm Christian and he believes in the Bible. But what lessons do we draw?
Yes.
Once you are placed in a position of leadership, you're supposed to be very, very careful with what you utter because it goes down on record. Two, in this age of internet, internet never forgets. It will keep on reminding you. So that unfortunate remark will be played on, not just to him, but to his children and children's children. You can imagine the effect. Just imagine the effect. So, I mean, although he's apologized, yes.
The power of the tongue, once it's gone, it can't be taken back.
But once you spill the milk, you cannot collect the milk. But we accept his apology, and I would, encourage other people in positions of leadership who have made statements that are unfounded, statements that can injure, statements that can deunify people. Instead of creating unity, they need to follow Nelson Koech's example and apologize before their creator calls them to hell or heaven, whichever the case. The second reflection I have, again, very interesting. This is Governor Wanga. When he was still my friend, before the transformation, into other things that I don't even know. I cannot understand Governor Wanga anymore. But look for that video and play it out.
Okay. Ask Alice, what does William Ruto stand for? What has he stood for in all his years of public service? What is the one thing that if somebody mentions the name of William Ruto, somebody will tell you? It will probably be corruption, and right now it will probably be wheelbarrow. And therefore, somebody with that kind of record, a record of broken promises, where are the laptops? Where are the stadia? Where are they? The things that he stood up to talk about. What promise has he kept? What has he done for this country? What is the one thing? He's been in public service. Since he left university, he has been in public service. What is that one thing that is his legacy to date? Because now he's telling us about people being jobless. 2013, he didn't know people were jobless. 2014, he didn't know people were jobless. 2015, he didn't know people were jobless. 2016, he didn't know people were jobless. 2017, he didn't know people were jobless. He came back and told us about 1 million jobs a year. Where?
Well, this was, I believe, while she was still in the opposition. She was saying here, what has President William Ruto delivered to Kenyans?
So I posed the same questions to Governor Wanga. At that point, you were very clear. She said that what can President Ruto show in terms of delivery? What does President Ruto stand for? There are so many broken promises that he has made. So the questions I'm posing to Governor Wanga, what has changed? Has Ruto's stand changed? Has it changed from what she knew to what she knows now today? He accused William Ruto of corruption and having this wheelbarrow mentality. Has that changed? And if it did change, when it did change? Has he started fulfilling the promises in the last 12 months that they have been together? If they have, or if Ruto has actually succeeded in delivering promises, which ones? Laptops? Has he delivered laptops? Bundles for the youth? Those are the questions that I really
but you've
want.
Seen Talanta Stadium. He was inside Talanta Stadium.
That is what I would want Governor Wanga to tell Kenyans, especially as we approach 7th of March. I want Governor Wanga to look at the camera, to look at the Kenyan people in the eye and say, I have changed my position for the following reasons. I think leaders need to be honest. Leaders need to move the mentality of tumbo policy. That, you only speak from your tummy. You are directed by your tummy. What you say, you are saying it for the day. And once the tap is closed, you can easily change. I think that's what we are seeing in most of these politicians, especially the ones who have joined the broad-based government. I mean, they have taken a 360-degree turn. It's unfortunate. But again, the Mwananchi is waiting for you.
But you haven't commented.
Mwananchi is not very stupid.
You haven't commended the president for Talanta.
Well, Talanta Stadium should have costed us 45 billion on paper. It's going to cost us 145 billion by the time it's complete. That is the money that Kenyans will pay for that stadium. That money should have built 4 stadiums or even 3 of world-class standard, the Singapore standard. The president should have delivered 3 instead of 1.
Yeah.
3. He's delivering one stadium at the cost of 3. Is that really something that you want to talk about? Is that something that you want to brag about? Think about it.
Let's get into your highlights before we talk about where you are as ED.
Well, Jed, I have 2 highlights. Okay? The first one was deeply disturbing. Deeply disturbing. Council of Governors. And I want you to look for that video where they issued a statement, and I had to listen to that statement about 3-4 times to appreciate the content. Just play it out.
On governors' appearances before the Senate Public Accounts Committee, CPAC, the Council of Governors notes with great concern the continuous and escalating extortion, political witch hunt, harassment, intimidation, and humiliation of excellency governors by certain senators when they appear before the Public Accounts Committee of Senate. To this effect, the Council has resolved that governors will not appear before the Senate Public Accounts Committee until these concerns are addressed through a structured engagement between the leadership of the Council and the Council of Governors.
Council of Governors, they're saying it's becoming difficult to go to Senate.
We have governors, and this is the 3rd cycle of the county system. What we have seen is massive theft of public funds, massive theft and massive misuse of public resources. Massive. Okay? Just stealing. Billions of shillings have been stolen by governors. What really disturbs me is the fact that EFCC has never been able to prosecute even one governor. I've not seen one governor, being sentenced and locked up for 10, 15 years so that others can be a lesson.
We saw YT2 for a couple of months.
But he's out. But anyway, it is just one case. How many governors have we had since the introduction of the devolution system? So it's a very disturbing state of affair. And to see governors trying to run away from transparency because they don't operate in transparent manner. They want to run away from accountability. They don't want to be held accountable. My advice to the governors is that if you don't want to be held accountable and you are dealing with public funds, resign and go and run your business. Because in your business, nobody cares what you do. Nobody will ask you any questions.
So they're saying they're being extorted.
You see, and again, if you are being extorted, that's actually a criminal offense. Extortion is criminal. Have you seen even one governor going to report to EFCC?
Yeah.
Have you seen even one governor writing a statement, recording a statement at DCI? This is all crap, I'm telling you.
Running away from accountability.
They want to run away from accountability. And I am telling them that the only way you can stop is either doing the right thing or running your own business. You cannot decide on when you'll be oversighted. When? It's not your money. It's not your money. You cannot decide who oversights you. That I'll decide who, at what time, and who sits on the committee. Who told you this is your money or your public funds, any private funds or family funds?
Yeah.
These are public resources. And if you do not want to be held accountable, please, for heaven's sake, pack off and go. Go and run your family business. But if you stay in public office, which you shall be intimidated, you shall be asked questions, you must answer the questions, and if you don't answer the questions, just know that when this new government comes in, you land in jail. You languish in jail. I can tell you for free. My second and last highlight for this week.
Yes.
You saw Rigiji responding to this issue of whether ODM is dead or alive and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Look for that video.
Nimesikia William Ruto akisema ati kuna jaribio la kuvuvua Azimio na Azimio hawezi kuvuka kwa sababu haina ODM. Mimi nataka nikuambie William Ruto, ODM imekwisha. Waluya wametoka, Wakisii wametoka, Wakamba hapana iko na wewe, watu ya Pwani hapana iko na wewe. Hakuna kitu kama ODM. Number 2, UDA. Saa ile mlima imetoka, hakuna kitu kama UDA. So wewe umebaki kwa kona, imebaki siku chache tukusafirishe uende nyumbani.
That is one Rigathi Gachagua answers to critics.
You know, I keep on saying, and I've said this before, we must differentiate between a few characters in ODM who are transacting and ODM as a movement. So what Gachagua is saying, there are some few characters who are transacting. They're writing checks, they're receiving checks. Those are transacting. They are gone. And we are not even interested. We are not even bothered. But the people who own the movement of ODM, that's what Gachagua is saying. The people who own the ODM movement, the lawyers have Otire, Otire. The people from Coast, Otire. Kisi, Otire. Otire. Kambas, Otire. Now, Morima, Otire.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody who is in a corner, is none other than William Samoei Ruto.
Do you believe
he has been left in a corner. He's alone. He's feeling cold. And that is why, Jed, he has to comment about Azimio. Yet he's not a member of Azimio. He's not an official of Azimio. He's got his own coalition party. Why can't he confine himself to his coalition party?
Who is right? Gachagua is saying without Mount Kenya, UDA is dead.
Of course.
William is saying without ODM, Azimio
Gachagua is right. Gachagua is saying Mount Kenya, Otire, they are gone. He's also saying, from my interpretation, that even in ODM, the movement is with the people. The people have gone, they are the ones who are receiving checks. But the people, the movement is still there.
Yeah.
The lawyers, they have run away the movement. They have run away the movement. Kisi, Costarians, Kambas, they have run away. So the man has been isolated, and you can understand why really he's feeling the heat. And Sifuna put it very clearly.
We saw Sifuna in Busia.
Sifuna put it very clearly that there's no room, there's absolutely no chance that ODM, being a foundational member of the coalition, will leave. ODM is a movement. A movement cannot leave.
What do you make of Sifuna?
When a movement moves, it moves.
We saw them in Busia. What did you make of that, political event?
Oh, brilliant, beautiful, beautiful. It actually confirms where the people are. The people are with the movement. The people are with the loyal opposition.
Whether they like it or not.
I'm telling you, that was brilliant, man. It was beautiful.
What is the future of Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya coalition party? Now that my friend here is now the executive director, sweeping reorganizations have happened over the past 1 week, with Kalonzo Musyoka, His Excellency, being the party leader, Karoli Omondi being the SG. The conversation now is, what will Azimio look like in 2027? Are they going to rebrand? Will they be a sweeping force come 2027? That is my conversation with Philip. Tell me, what has been happening before I even ask my questions?
You know, there are things that you brought up which are very interesting. The first one, you talk about reorganization.
Yes.
And you are right. The thing that we did a week ago was a master stroke, reorganizing the party. And we had a responsibility of reorganizing the party so that we don't have a vacuum. And that is actually captured in our deed of agreement. You can't have a vacuum. In fact, we were decent in Azimio, very decent. Our party leader died in October, I think 13th of October last year. We only effected changes after more than 3 months of mourning, because we wanted time to mourn. We mourned. Only then did we say, now it is time to move on, okay? So that we don't have this void. On the other side, even before Raila was buried, somehow some takeover was engineered. Even before his body arrived in Kenya, even before the body arrived in Kenya, so that we can confirm that our party leader is indeed gone. We had not seen him. We had not seen him.
Yeah.
We needed to see him to believe. Some changes were effected. How mean can people be?
What changes are this?
A party leader was put in acting capacity. Who engineered that one? Oburu Odinga. Yeah. Before my party leader came back to Kenya,
yes,
there were changes being effected. So who was pushing that agenda behind the scenes? Your guess is as good as mine. And then you talk about internal dissent.
Yes.
There's no internal dissent in Azimio. There are people who have voiced their concerns, and they have a right to voice their concerns. And I can tell you, we're going to engage. We are going to use the deed of agreement to resolve any perceived disputes. Okay, so hold your horses. Don't be in a hurry.
Okay.
The issue of rebranding.
Yes.
And when you talk about rebranding, my brother, we are not talking about merely changing color and changing the logo and slogan. It's the entire culture of that movement, that coalition. Okay, so we are going to bring everybody on board. We are going to get everybody so that the end product will be responding to the people's wishes.
Okay.
Because see, when you rebrand, and you rebrand at the surface, and the foundation is not cured, the philosophy is not relooked at, the ideas, the ideology, and the way you communicate even to your people is not relooked at.
So you're looking at a long-term thing.
Not long-term, you're looking at the entire structure. We shall look at the entire structure of ODM, of Azimio la Umoja, so that we're in sync with the current realities. So we are talking, and you'll see, and I think that is why they're hell-bent on making sure that Azimio doesn't stabilize. Initially, they were saying that Azimio is a dead dead horse being flogged.
Yes.
But now, all of a sudden, they have gathered so much interest and even sending, you can see a hand from a distance being, sending my
Whose
party
hand?
to write.
If you can see the hand, whose hand?
This hand.
Whose hand, if you can see it?
There's some hand somewhere.
Yeah.
Pushing the agenda.
Yeah.
But we are up to this. We were expecting it anyway.
Yeah.
So there's nothing new. We can tell you that we are going to speak to the people who are like-minded, parties which are like-minded, people who just believe in servant leadership, people who just want to serve, people who want to transform this country, positive transformation, people who want to prepare this country for the next generation, people who believe in a vision, a shared vision. The people you are working with, we are glued.
Whose hand?
We are glued together.
Whose hand is behind the scene?
You know these people. I don't want to mention their names because you're a clever man and you know the hand behind this thing. You know the hand behind this thing.
Let me ask you then. Why now? What is the strategic thinking? I know you're a manager and you've done it even in Singapore and Harvard. What is the strategic thinking behind the changes or the leadership changes, and how realistically can you address this issue? I know you've talked about the acts in the constitution, but how realistically can you address the conversation that is there about divisions and factionism, especially when you talk about ODM?
First of all, Jed, the change in leadership was occasioned by the demise of our party leader, Raila Odinga. That is what triggered. We had to fill in the vacuum to avoid a void, okay? So it is not something that we created, okay? It was our party leader, went to be the creator. So the other thing that we then looked at as a coalition party is that this vehicle needed to be stabilized. We need stability, okay? We need unity of purpose, okay? We need a leader who has a wealth of experience, somebody who can come together and glue the entire team together, okay? So that we can move as a unit. And no other person other than His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka fitted the bill.
Okay.
So we brought him in, okay, to stabilize and ensure that now we're able to move to the next level. So we are, of course, preparing to face our opponents who are on the other side, who you know very well, who have failed to provide strategic leadership to this country for the last 4 years. Okay? The only thing that they have delivered to the people of Kenya is pain, total pain. Yeah? So we are coming up with a program, okay, that will implement our desired, our shared vision, Vision 2030. That's our reference point. And as I said earlier, we, together with the Kenyan people, unlike the other side, who their leader has his own vision, we are going to create a shared vision for the people of Kenya, a shared vision for transforming this nation. No single individual sit down to impose his or her vision on the people of Kenya. It's about delivering a shared vision in order that we can move together and transform this nation genuinely and in an open and transparent manner.
How will you deal with ODM, all that conversation of factionism? How will you deal with it? Before I ask you the likelihood of ODM staying.
You see, Jed, I've said this so many times, okay? That ODM is a functional member, foundational member. Is a foundational member of the coalition party. So, and I can assure you, within ODM, there are those who believe in ideology, the transformative leaders, and they're there. But we have a few characters who are transactional. So the transformative leaders are a mixture of the old guard and the youthful leadership, those who genuinely now want to occupy space and take this country forward. Then there are those who are holding the foundation of ODM, the ideas of ODM, the ideologies of ODM. Those old guys who are there for the last 20 years, who fought very hard to make sure that you have this party. Okay? Now that team and the transformational leaders, transformative leaders, outweigh the numbers on the other side. Those who are receiving checks, they are very few. So if you ask me, I'm not worried about you know, the imaginary cracks that people have about ODM. The people, and ODM is a movement. The movement will get rid of, and very soon, very, very soon, the movement, because the movement, and it's owned by the people of Kenya, they will get rid of these characters very soon. Now, you know, there are risks attendant to any anything that will shift.
In case ODM.
That will shift from the ideology. There's an attendant risk. And there's a heavy price that ODM can pay. Heavy price. You know, ODM is the only party that has membership and following across Kenya. So unless the current leadership wants to confine ODM to Luo Nyanza, we have Abaluya in ODM. They supported Baba for the last 20 years. It is probably time that even our cousins and then our in-laws, you know, return the hand. Then we have Kalonzo Musyoka, who I think in 3 successive elections has supported, he has actually toned down his ambition and supported Raila Odinga. And it's only fair. It is only, you know, decent. It is decent that our cousins, our in-laws on the other side return, you know, they return a hand. I think, Jed, what I'm saying is, it is actually payback time. They owe the other community something, okay? Because Raila has been supported by these other communities. So if you allow yourself to be destroyed by this hand I'm talking about, there's a hand behind this. There's a hand that wants to isolate. They want to isolate the Luos, put them on one corner, then get the Luyas in one corner, and hopefully get a small little size and then a piece of the Luya, put the Coastal on the side, put the Kambas on the side. That will not happen.
It will not.
I'm praying and hoping that the leadership, current leadership of ODM will see through the mischief that is being played by the Kenya Kwanza government. It is mischief, pure mischief.
What does Kalonzo Musyoka bring to this role, party leader? And what would be your advice? I know he's your senior now, but if you can advise him, because he has this role and he's going to take over leadership of so many parties, he has taken over leadership. What does he bring, first of all? And how should he navigate now this new position, considering what Raila did for Azimio la Umoja, the person Raila was when it comes to unifying those that were under him?
Jed, you would not have had a better person to pick up the reins from Raila Odinga. You would not have had a better person. Don't forget that in 2022, he you know, gave up his ambition of running for presidency at a very high cost, high price. Remember when Kalonzo was joining ODM, then Azimio, the number, the presidential ticket had already been determined, and even the running mate had been determined. Yet Kalonzo has a huge following. But because he believes in the unity of purpose, he came in, toned down, and accepted what he would be given should they have formed government. So this is a selfless leader, somebody who does not think about himself, somebody who thinks about the entire country, somebody who loves this country. Okay? You asked me, what does Kalonzo bring? What does he come with? A diplomat par excellence.
By excellence.
Par excellence.
His Excellency.
Yeah? I've heard other people calling themselves Excellency, yet they are thieves. they steal public resources, they kill people, and we want to be called excellence. Have you ever heard of Kalonzo? Because you're saying, what does he bring on board? Diplomacy and the international network. That when he gets into the office, he doesn't have to establish a network internationally or regionally. He already has it. Having served in various capacities as a minister and as a vice president, he has that, that network, both regional and international. Then Kalonzo, okay? Forget about the wealth of experience and skills that he comes with. He believes in servant leadership. Servant leadership. He believes in working in a team. So he's a team player. Okay? He's a very powerful communicator. He's a very strong negotiator, diplomatic negotiations. He has served in various capacities within the region. Okay? So you're asking me what he comes with. Those are some of the skills and experiences that he comes with. He will start working from day one.
So this internal...
And most important is the fact that he's not a greedy man. He will not walk into the office and start stealing public resources. No. In fact, he'll allow me. I think I'll be a really serious man. You better start talking to me.
Okay.
I'm a very serious man.
PK, my friend.
I'm telling you, you better talk to me nicely. I'm telling you, the people I'm going to jail, these governors. And I am telling you, because that is my first assignment, to send these people to jail, which I'll do extremely effectively. So watch this space.
Watch this space. You talked about rebranding, and I need to know a little bit too about the Gen Z and young voters in Azimio. What are you thinking about when it comes to rebranding from flogging a dead horse to now a party that everyone is interested in? Even I've seen those who, Kalonzo says, the likes of Jeanette did not want to appear for the meetings, but now everybody is looking for Azimio. What are you thinking about when it comes to the future?
You know, Azimio was it was a good baby. But even with the time, you must change. And if you want to know that Azimio is a good thing, you can see how Kenyans have reacted, how Kenyans are embracing Azimio, okay? And even how our opponents have woken up. All of a sudden, they have remembered there was something called Azimio. But back to your question. I had said before that our rebranding will not just be limited to color change, logo change, name change, and so on and so forth. It will be a structural change to align with the aspirations of the people of this country. So we'll be looking at things like our philosophy to make sure that all our partners agree with a particular philosophy, our ideals, our values. Before even we get to things like colors, we want to emotionally appeal to the Kenyan people. So the changes we'll make will be far from the colors and name. Because that will happen. But we want to capture the aspirations of the people of Kenya, the emotions. We want them to love this country once again. We want them to feel part of this country. We are going to work on the happiness index. And I'm sure you're going to be an expert in that area very soon. So we want a population that is happy. We want a population that is proud of being Kenyans. We want a population, when they see the flag, you want to die for your flag.
The patriotism that was there.
Patriotism. We want to return Kenya to where it was when it got independence. We want to return Kenya. We want the feel-good, mood.
Mood.
We want it, the feel-good. Like when Kibaki took over, people for once say, oh my, now people are proud to be Kenyans. We want to return to that space where people will just feel connected to their country, where people just want to, they love their leader, those in leadership, not hate those in leadership. Currently, I think Kenyans hate those in leadership with a passion. Whether you don't care, because I hear some people say they don't care. You must care if you're a human being. When people say they don't like you, they hate you, you must feel it, unless you're not human. Because if you're human,
Yeah.
you'll want to ask yourself, you'll look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself questions. Why do people, and again, when people say they're tired of you and you want to hang into that office,
Yeah.
why would you want to hang in? It's like, you're a young man,
Yeah.
and you're dating a girl, and then she calls and says, Jed, it's over.
Yeah.
And you still want to hang on her.
Yeah.
By force, by fire.
Yeah.
And she says, it's over, Jed.
Yeah.
It's over, Jed.
Please don't
Look
leave
for somebody.
me.
It's
Please
over.
don't leave me.
me. You're not going to leave me. That's bad manners.
Yeah.
That's bad manners. Let's move from an environment where you want to impose yourself on people,
Yeah.
you want to force yourself on people, and people have said no. People have said tawe.
And through all this,
People have said tawe.
through all this, you're saying young people will be involved.
I am telling you, Jed, others will not be part of that group.
That's your deal breaker.
If our children, the Gen Z, millennials, and women are not on that menu, I have joined that team because this will be our focal point. Because, we are not going to be around for too long. Some people believe that they're going to be here for 30 years. Who wants to be here for another 40 years? You'll be susuing in your pants. You want to be in that state, man?
Yeah.
No, you must, time comes, you must prepare to go.
Yeah.
In fact, just take a rest. Enjoy, sit back and enjoy. Look at, your children also, prospering, taking the reins of leadership. Don't want to hang on until you die. You want to die in office. It is terrible manners, Jed. So our side, we want to assure the Gen Z,
Yes.
they're on the menu.
Yeah.
Even Ethan, that's the first condition Ethan gave me, your friend Ethan.
Yes.
He said, Dad, are the Gen Zs on the menu? Is Baboin on the menu? Is David Wafula on the menu? Is Sifuna on the menu? Is Jed on the menu? Is Anifa on the menu? I want to see those names on the menu. They are on the menu. And that is why I'm part of that group.
Finally, some parties say that what you've done, the reorganization, is illegal due to alleged lack of consultation and violation of the coalition's founding principles of inclusivity, transparency, accountability. Some say they did not know ODM too. I know those are the ones you're calling transactional. So finally, what are the likely short-term and long-term implications of this dissent that we're seeing?
First of all,
and also tell me, are we going to see the likes of DCP coming into the party, the coalition, and how you'll resolve this so that it doesn't affect, the electoral prospects that Azimio has in 2027?
Let me confirm. I started off by saying that when one resolution that was made was that His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, who is now the party leader, will reach out to parties and individuals who are like-minded. So he has been given that mandate. So you can be rest assured we're going to be very inclusive. DCP is on the menu. They are very strong partners. In fact, Riggy G is a 3-star general. How can you leave him out? He's on the menu. And I can tell you, they have a very good working relationship with the party leader, the two of them. Brilliant. Because they only have one objective, Jed. To rescue this country from the reins of pain. So they have no option but to work together. Let me say this. People, you're allowed to disagree. And that is why if you look at the deed of agreement, I think it is Article 14 or 16, it talks about dispute resolution. Okay? Dispute resolution. So they have a dispute or they have a complaint, and there are not many. Azimio originally had more than, I think, 26 members. I've only heard of about 2 or 3 complaining. In fact, I've reached out to one of the groups, and I'm actually surprised on how they have embraced the changes. Maybe there was a bit of misunderstanding, but and I'm sure that we'll engage the other parties. We shall be guided by the article that deals with dispute. Okay, so it's not a big deal. Don't make this thing into a big deal. But I can tell you, you see, some party was sent, and then I think it was not very impactful. So ODM was sent. It means that there's a guy holding what? The leash.
Yeah.
There's a guy.
The hidden hand.
There's a hidden hand.
Yeah.
Eh?
Mutamulika.
And soon,
Yeah.
we shall flush him out.
Mutamulika.
We know him,
Yeah.
we shall flush him out. So that hand, please go slow. You already have so many challenges that you need to address. The other day I saw even the president commenting on Azimio and Musyoka, and he didn't even have kind words that ile azamani tuliangusha mapema. Ile azamani uliangusha mapema. But this one, the revamped one,
Yes.
that PK is inside.
Yeah.
This one
Yes.
is going to crush you
Yeah.
like a caterpillar. It's going to run over you.
Yeah.
It will run over you, my friend, like a caterpillar. Like my friend.
You're almost speaking Luya.
Atiriki boy.
Karibu ongea Kiluya.
Atiriki boy.
Yes.
Is on. Hey, my friend.
Caterpillar.
We shall run over
Maybe I
like a
should
caterpillar.
start calling you Caterpillar.
So, but we are going to resolve these small little misunderstandings that are there, and I'm sure that those one or two people in ODM who are creating this misunderstanding will come to see their sense. Because, Jed, we are waiting for them on 7th of March to read the report card, and we want Oburu Odinga to read that report on 7th of March. My friend Dr. Oburu Odinga must read the report form on 7th of March.
They had an agreement with UDA.
No, the brother is on our side. He must read that report form.
7th of March.
7th of March, he must read.
Thanks for tuning into that conversation. Philip Kisia, ED of Azimio la Umoja on Kenya Coalition, says they'll come like a caterpillar. And he says there's a hidden hand which will be flushed out. In case you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below. Of course, we'll be able to talk to him every single week on Philip Kisia Unscripted. Just as always, final remarks this particular midweek.
Well, Jed, as we conclude, I want you to play this video. The World Bank, former president was talking about how a country can be transformed. How do you transform a country? He was addressing ministers and high-ranking government officials in a meeting.
All know that corruption corrodes trust. And trust is at the heart of economic relationships. So we did some really in-depth research about the relationship between corruption and growth. And it, no wonder, the more corruption you have, the slower and less the growth. So any heads of states, any finance minister that I meet around the world is interested in growth, sustainable, inclusive, solid, and all the rest of it. But they all want growth. So I say two things. One is, make sure you have good governance, that you eradicate corruption, and that you facilitate growth.
Well, she's talking about corruption, says it inhibits growth.
Do I need to add more?
That's it.
Do I need to add anything? Corruption erodes confidence.
And trust, yeah.
And trust. How do you fix it? By good governance. There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut. Those things are intertwined. There is no way you can talk about moving from third to first and you have refused to address the issue of corruption. It will never happen. They're intertwined. They are joined at the hip. When you talk about third to first, you must talk about corruption. You must talk about good governance. Finally, Jed.
Yes.
The 10-point agenda.
Report card.
The 10-point agenda, I want my party leader,
Again.
Dr. Oburu Odinga, he must read that report form on 7th. He must tell people from the 10 points, what has this government delivered? From where we sit, you did, you marked.
Yes.
You marked.
Yeah.
You gave them 22 out of 100. You gave them actually 18 out of 100.
Yes.
I gave them 22. It's a fail. So we are waiting for the party leader, other than telling us about broad-based and how things are working, 10-point agenda. He must read that report form on 7th.
Thanks for tuning into that conversation. It's been Philip Kisia Unscripted. Always leave a comment down below. Remember to share if you find this messages impactful and we've watched this conversation and you don't know whether you've subscribed to this particular platform, you can always counter check. Just take your time and search Jadiel Kabiro and search Philip Kisia, and you can check if you have subscribed on this particular platform. We do appreciate you. We would want to meet you soon, so the QR on the screen actually tells you how you can meet with us on a town hall which we're planning to organize. Thanks for tuning in once again. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.